Welcome everyone. This is Ariel at DragonTaleTarot. Thank you so much for joining me today. This is going to be an overall energy check-in. And right now, literally as we speak, the moon has gone into its new phase in Capricorn, and it's also teamed up by a solar annular eclipse that's happening right now as well. This is December 26th, or right after midnight, and that is what's happening right now in the heavens. So this is going to be a reading that is going to speak to the general energy. Right now it's going to be to address, all signs, all people, and give us an idea of what we need to learn, what we need to embrace as this phase comes in. When the moon goes new, it's always, this happens every week. It's like every month, not every week, every month. So it's like every month there's a 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off kind of phase with the moon. When the moon is new, which is what it just started now, that signals a 2-week long thereabouts phase of greater growth, more renewal. It's a better time to move forward on your plans, ambitions, and goals. It's more of a time of increase rather than decrease, because when the moon starts new, it's starting to go into the waxing phase, which means it's building, building, building up to that full moon. Then when the full moon hits, after about 2 weeks after the new moon, then after that it goes on what we call its waning cycle. So it's getting smaller, 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 and then it starts the new cycle all over again. That happens every month. So for people that aren't as familiar with the moon's phases and movements, that's something that's always going on. And it gives us kind of that breath in, breath out. And with the eclipse patterns, it's very much the same. There's many, many theories, ideas, beliefs, all kinds of things that people attribute throughout time to eclipses, whether it's a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse. Way back, of course, that was a very dramatic thing to see, especially when they didn't really know what was causing it, which was just, it passing through, those planets moving across them. So, when you would see that, it was like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? It still feels a little bit like that to us, but I would say that my experience on, going through many, many eclipses and being pretty aware of them is that usually they're not like a big dramatic punch all at once. Now, some people, sure, you may experience it that way. Absolutely fine if you do. But my experience more of eclipses is that it is like a breath in and a breath out. Now, when the solar eclipses come in, now that's what's happening right now. So the sun and the moon are both in Capricorn, and a solar eclipse is more about what we're bringing in, what we would like to embrace more, especially along with the new moon, which is what we want to increase, what we want to go forward in, dreams and goals we want to pursue. So think about the energy of Capricorn. That's where the new moon and the solar eclipse are both happening. So this really gives us that feeling of all the areas of Capricorn and what we would really like to see, the best and the most positive aspects of that sign coming through for us. If you are a Capricorn, which I am, I'm actually sun and moon in Capricorn, so this is a very special eclipse for me personally. But if you're not a Capricorn, don't worry about that. That's okay. This is still important to you. I would say the signs that are probably going to feel this eclipse the very most, though, on the whole, in general, are going to be Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, and Aries, because they're all in those cardinal signs. And that's why, you will feel that pressure or that dynamic a lot stronger. Now, it's always a good idea to check your personal chart, because you may have, planets in those signs, you may have a rising in those signs, etc., that definitely will show you where that's going to make the biggest impact for you. But overall, I would say that, when we get this coming in, that solar eclipse is like the breath in. And so think about whatever. You could even write it down, meditate on it. That's what we're here to kind of do today. Feel free to pause the video at any time, and you can do that, just as you have ideas or insights or things that may come through as we do this reading. I'm going to, after we do the astrology talk, I'm going to get into the cards and some tarot, and we'll bring through some spiritual messages. But right now, just think about, what Capricorn rules. Capricorn is business. It's money. It's financial institutions. It is our deep-rooted foundations. It's the oldest earth sign, so it's really kind of the mastery of the material realm, which is a lot to do why Capricorns always work so hard. It's why they really have this sense that they want to build something. A lot of them are very focused on money, or making sure there's plenty of money in the bank, or if not that, at least that they have adequate resources to live on, because Capricorns do not like being caught without enough to survive on, enough to go on. They like to plan ahead. They like to know what's coming next. They're not big on surprises or things moving too fast. And when they build, they prefer to build gradually and powerfully and meaningfully rather than overnight. They don't really necessarily believe in overnight successes. It's more like, well, I want to build something that will last. Capricorns are very much about, understanding history and, old traditions and calling on those in order to build for the future. So this is so much for everybody about, as we go into, this is the last new moon of the year of 2019, as we get ready to go into 2020, a whole new numeric decade vibration. So absolutely be thinking about what it is as this year closes. It's rather beautiful to say, this has been a tough year. It's been a very tough year for almost everyone I know, with very little exception. And so think about it. Capricorn's a good survivor. Just like a goat, a goat will eat anything and it still manages to survive. Like a goat can chew on the tin cans and the garbage, and they can just make something out of it. They can turn even something that doesn't seem very positive or very tasty into a necessary resource to keep on going, right? So think about that as you transmute the quote-unquote garbage of life, or whatever, hardships or challenges have been thrown at you, especially this past year. And it's like, think about how you're going to transmute that energy to turn the poison into medicine, to turn the pain into healing. This is a very beautiful time to me. And it's very powerful. I actually get chills just thinking about it. So I have right here, this is the chart for right now. This is, what we're looking at. And so I'm just going to point out those things in the chart as we go along. So here we go. Here's the sun right here, 4 degrees of Capricorn, with the sun, with the moon. So the sun and moon, that's what it looks like on a printed chart when you have a new moon conjunct the sun. So it's literally right on top of each other because it's brand new. And then we've got Jupiter in Capricorn right here, and they're all together. So think about that. Jupiter is expansive. It's good luck. It's optimism. It's good fortune. It's really a lot of doors opening up. So it's kind of interesting because Capricorn energy and Saturn energy can be very inhibiting and limiting, but Jupiter is very open. It's very, very expansive. It's all about bringing in positive new forces. So, this is a real challenge because it's like, open up those doors, open up that inhibited Capricorn part of ourselves. And we all have every sign represented in our charts, even if we don't have planets there or not, right? So any area of your life where you've really felt inhibited, closed down, have that voice in your mind where, oh, I just can't do it. There's no way it can ever happen. It's impossible. Jupiter's coming in here to say, dream the impossible. No matter who you are, no matter what sign you are, believe the impossible can happen. These mountains can be moved, and 2020 is going to be a very powerful year for that indeed. Then we've got Saturn right here, Pluto right here, also in Capricorn. These guys are really heavy. These are the heaviest planets to me of the whole wheel, all of our solar system, right? Because they're very intense. Pluto rules Scorpio, Saturn rules Capricorn. So again, this is about reviving, regenerating, rebirth from the ashes, phoenix from the ashes kind of energy, building a solid new foundation that can stand the test of time. Think about how powerful that is. Now here's some great aspects. Now aspects are what happens in this middle wheel right here, and you can see these lines that go, you know, between the two planets, and it just shows relationships of energy between the planets. I know that, you know, everybody here that's watching, some people are very well versed in astrology, some people are just beginning, so I try to really make this work for everybody, because, you know, I've been doing this forever, so to me it's like old hat, but I remember the time before I really knew what I was doing way back, and I was like, okay, you know, when you're learning the signs and the symbols, it's really helpful to have somebody guide you. So here's Mars right here, and it is in Scorpio, 24 degrees, so it is in a sextile aspect to Pluto and Saturn. A sextile aspect is point of opportunity. It's positive. It's a good free-flowing energy. And so what it requires from us is that we will need to take some action. Because with Saturn sitting there in Capricorn, it can be such a procrastinator. But because Pluto's in the mix, Mars is in the mix here, and Mars is all about taking action. Whereas Saturn can be like, oh, maybe I need to think about it a little longer. Mars is like, no, no, come on, let's get going. So you will find that this is initiating a period of time where we really do need to take action on some things, especially if we've been procrastinating about them a while. The other thing I want to point out, just on the basic stuff, is Uranus is up here at Taurus. I think it says 2 degrees. And so that's early stage Taurus. And then down here we've got the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter at early stage Capricorn. So that creates what's called a trine. A trine is a very free-flowing, very positive pattern of energy. So these really impact each other. Uranus rules Aquarius. It's all about revolution and, you know, shaking off the dust, shaking off the status quo, really awakening to our own true unique spirit. It's about liberation. It's about freedom. So I think this is beautiful, because look at that. I mean, this is, to me, when it's in harmony with Jupiter, this is huge liberation, huge freedom, you know, just a complete revolution of the heart and soul coming in. And also the essential foundations of ourselves, because they're in earth signs. Also, it's revolutionizing the moon and the sun. So this is all about, you know, our ego awareness, our subconscious awareness, because it's the sun and the moon respectively. The only negative aspect, I guess I would say, right, is Uranus squaring Scorpio. So some people may find that it is harder to make those deep changes or those sweeping movements, because there's still psychological healing and emotional healing left to do. So don't beat yourself up if you've still got old traumas, if you've still got old baggage, old wounds, old things. This is a great year for healing, and so this can trigger that healing. And sometimes it's really important to recognize I can only grow so far, I can only go so fast, because I've still got to work through these things. As long as you're working through them one day at a time, that's all that, you know, Capricorn energy and Saturn require of you. It doesn't mean, hey, you're going to do this all overnight. Not at all. If anything, like I said, Capricorn is not about doing it all overnight. So don't feel bad. Don't get down on yourself if you feel, I really need a little more time. Give yourself that time, but don't just stand still. Don't stay stuck in your sadness or old pain. Do something proactive to work through it, because this is just a beautiful time of shift and energetic healing as we bring in that breath, the breath in. What we want to embrace as that solar eclipse comes in Capricorn is solid foundations, a feeling that we have something firm and stable under our feet. And of course, it's always best to start with ourselves. Make sure that you're solid, that you're strong, that you're, you know, giving yourself that love and care and nurturing to make yourself stronger and more solid and more resilient. Trying to think what else I would say. Yes, well, the next thing that I'd point out is that these eclipses always go in patterns. So on January 10th, which is roughly 2 weeks away, we have the lunar eclipse in Cancer. Opposite planet, opposite sign, right? So you know, with the sun coming in, like I said, solar eclipse, we breathe in. Lunar eclipse, we breathe out. So, very nice time because, you know, once we go to January 10th, it's the opposite of Capricorn. So to me, any kinds of opposites always have a lot in common, like two sides of the same coin. Cancer and Capricorn are both very security seeking. They like to be grounded. They like stability. Again, they don't like many surprises or fast changes, and they can be very sentimental. They can tend to dwell on the past a good bit, so they have to work through that. But yeah, they love history. They love, you know, old information and traditions because they like to learn about that stuff, and they like to, you know, maybe improve on it or grow past it as time goes by. They definitely believe in learning from history so that it doesn't repeat itself. So going into a lunar eclipse in Cancer, that's a beautiful thing. It'll be the full moon. It will be the Cancer full moon. It'll be the first full moon of 2020. So very special for all my Cancers out there because that is going to be a big, beautiful full moon for you. And what a beautiful time to release things because Cancer energy is so much about, you know, our subconscious. It's the things we carry inside. It's also about the things that we truly want, need, and desire within. That's why whatever your particular moon sign is in your chart is very important because it tells you the nature of the sign and the house where it's in. Will tell you a lot about what it is that you truly want in life. You know, it's kind of like that's the thing you need to feel good and solid. If you're doing the moon, the needs of the moon sign, you're going to feel a lot more content and solid inside. It's very true. So with breathing out, that lunar eclipse, full moon in Cancer, we're just letting go of a lot of heavy emotional baggage. Anything that has been, you know, just kind of sitting there, any old grudges we've held, anything that just hasn't been serving us, whether it's relationship, home situation, work situation. But I think a lot of the time when it's Cancer, it's mostly the emotion of it. It's the feeling of it. It's that sensibility of like, oh, if I could just not think about that anymore, if I could just not feel that anymore, if I could just heal from that wound, I could move on so much easier. So y'all just think about that. That's what's coming up right now. We're increasing, we're breathing in, we're taking in, you know, what it is. It's kind of like, and everybody makes the New Year resolution, right? But there's a reason. Why do we make those New Year resolutions every year in the time of Capricorn? New Year's Eve every year is in the time of Capricorn. Even if we don't have all that other Capricorn happening, it's always the sun in Capricorn. Because Capricorn has, you know, Janus, whereas we get the name January, was the Roman, the two-headed god, looking back and looking forward, right? So there is definitely that thing about Capricorn where it definitely looks back and it summarizes things and it thinks, well, what did I do? What did I get done? How well did I do? How efficient was I? Da, 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 da. And then it goes, well, if I wasn't so efficient, I want to do better this year, this cycle. That's why we always make those New Year's resolutions around the time of Capricorn. And really, it's the challenge is in making it stick, right? Some people say, well, I go in there thinking I'm really going to do it, then I let go of it. So making the commitment is a big deal. Any kind of resolution, doesn't matter when you make it. You know, but during the time of Capricorn, it is a great time to make a resolution because you're seeing things in a way of summarizing the past, wanting to capitalize on learning from it to make a better future. So guys, I wish you so much the best as we go forward and complete this year. I'm going to be doing some 2020 overview readings as well, so look for those. Those are coming real soon. I'm going to get started on those this week. So let's go ahead and start doing some reading. I'm going to start burning some, get my dragon fire going. Here we go. You know, I'm a dragon in human form. I'm born in the Chinese year of the dragon. This is why it's the Dragon Channel. But because I'm a dragon in human form, I need help from my little fire stick here to, you know, get the smoke going. So that's always a thing. That's what I tell myself anyway. There we go. Let's just get some cleansing for you and for the space here. I really believe that whenever you come to this reading will be the right time for you. I'm also going to burn a little bit of sage. I believe that, you know, whoever ends up coming to this channel is meant to be here. I feel that way as well about the other readers. that I follow on YouTube, because I think that we just, energy attracts like, right? And a little bit of sage spray as well for us. And I'm also going to bring in a little bit of sound vibration. I've got 2 tuning forks here. One is tuned for the sun vibration and one's tuned for the earth vibration, which are very grounding and clearing. So let's just take a moment before we start doing the reading, and let's just breathe in and out. Just listen to the tones and invite the universe, our ancestors, our spirit guides, our angels, anything that wants to come through and bless us with some messages as we go through this new moon solar eclipse. And just as we stop, I hear an airplane coming to land overhead, which I think is actually quite confirmation, right? We're coming in for the landing. We're coming into the new vibration here. All right, guys, so that was wonderful. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna pull from a couple different oracle decks and some spirit animals, and then we're gonna go into some tarot. Some other notes about the eclipse energy is that they tend to have a 6-month duration. So, like I was saying, some people find that this is a very dramatic emotional time and brings a lot of really intense experiences. But my overall experience with eclipses is more that it's a building energy, that it's like it initiates a new pattern and new growth and new, journey, a new sort of chapter in life. And so I would say that, some of you may definitely experience intense situations. I may experience intense situations, there's no telling. But overall, I would say that this is a learning track, and it's something, it's power that builds over time. So just, if you don't experience something big and like life-changing, like right in the first week or two after eclipse, it's totally fine. You're not unusual. Sometimes this is really just, it begins a more like one day at a time, focus on growth and transformation, rebuilding. So we're going to start with the Moonology deck. Let's just go ahead and say an invocation. Dear angels, spirit guides, guardians, ancestors, helpers, and healers, please be with us as we do the new moon and solar eclipse in Capricorn reading for December 2019. Please bring us messages of clarity and accuracy for our highest good, and protect my energy and everyone's energy that encounters this reading. Thank you so much. Oh, look at that. Oh, beautiful. Okay. So this is kind of doing like a past, present, future. This is sort of the initiation. So look at that waxing crescent moon, and that's what we're about to go into, is the waxing crescent after the new moon. So it says, have faith in your dreams. That's the first message that comes through here, is to have faith. Don't give up heart. Don't lose courage. And then the second, meditate and contemplate new moon energy as well in Pisces. Pisces is such a beautiful energy, and it's very spiritual, it's very dreamy, very mystical. So this, to me, you can do waking meditation, but you may also experience that after around this new moon and solar eclipse, is that you'll start to have a lot of messages come through the dream world. Also, I would mention that for anyone who's creative, artistic, musical, etc., Pisces is very aligned with that. So you may find more inspiration, more magic coming through whatever artwork or spirit work that you do. And look, another new moon card came up. This is absolute beautiful synchronicities. New moon in Taurus. Prosperity lies ahead. And what did we say? Uranus is in Taurus and it's aspecting favorably to that new moon in Capricorn right now. So yeah, this is not just about laying foundations, but it's also thriving. It's not just survival, because Capricorn's very like survival, right? It's all like, I gotta get through another day, gotta make it through. But you know, it's like Taurus is kind of about enjoying the prosperity, enjoying the abundance. So let's pull some spirit animals from Spirit Animal Oracle. And on an earthier plane level, we're just going to bring in which spirit animals are coming to us the strongest. Just to reach out there, everyone. And like I said, whenever you come to this reading is the right time for you. So remember that timing can be a little fluid. Some people will feel this right away. Some people may feel it, you know, a month from now or even 6 months from now. So let's pull this in. Oh, yeah. Okay, I like this. Okay, so the dog spirit came up. Look at that. Be loyal to what you love. And so for everyone, that coming up along with have faith in your dreams, to me, like I said, what we were talking about, you know, making those resolutions and making those future plans, wanting to change the new, you know, turn the page and get to the new chapter. And sticking with those resolutions is the challenging part, right? Because we always get excited to make the resolution, but then as time goes by, it's a little bit hard to keep it. But the dog is saying, be loyal to what you love, go the distance, don't give up. The dog has that loyalty factor. So it's like whatever you start, the dog is there to help you finish it. Ah, love it. So then, interesting enough, here's the number 19. And there's that 19 number, and then it goes, the next one is a 20, so look at that, it goes right in order for the dolphin spirit. This and that are true. Oh my goodness. And so it's like both aspects of this eclipse pattern is true. And so new moon in Pisces, look at that spiritual contemplation, and then we bring in the dolphin energy, which of course the dolphin is a mammal, but it also lives in the water, so it, you know, it goes across divides of both earth and water, both the practicality and the emotion, and dolphins embrace a lot of joy. So as you find that balance, right, the earthy balance between that Capricorn and Cancer with the water and the earth, both are true. Both are absolutely relevant, whether you experience this on a more emotional level or on a more rational, practical level. Both of them are valid. Both of them are totally valid experiences, whether you have a more spiritual experience or a more, you know, practical, earthy, foundational experience. And sometimes, for a lot of us, it'll be a balance between the two, and they're both, you know, valid. They're both important. And look at that. Prosperity lies ahead is crossed by the stag spirit. So the stag, to me, is a very special animal spirit because it's a very old traditional animal in the Druidic tradition. It's considered one of the oldest. It guards the gateway between worlds. And so it's saying as well, the message here is take the lead. And like I said, there is some of that procrastinating kind of energy coming up and around that Capricorn time. So, you know, and it's got that Mars energy coming into, you know, create that sextile with Pluto. So it's like you kind of, this is a time when it's like even if you've been procrastinating, sitting there thinking about it, it's kind of like if you don't use it, you're going to lose it kind of feeling. So it's like we've got to use it or lose it. We've got to get moving. Even if it's slow movement, that's totally fine. As long as you're doing something each day, or, you know, as often as you can to go forward towards your goals. So now I'm going to pull 3 more from another oracle deck before we get into the tarot. This is one of my favorites, the Dragon Oracle. What a surprise that I love it. And the dragons are very, you know, beautiful, high-dimensional beings, very etheric. In some ways, they have some similarities to angelic beings that way. So let's see what they're bringing through for this new moon solar eclipse. Oh, so nice. Yes. Now these are these are more earthy dragons, especially the first and the third that came up. So on top of, you know, this initial cycle starting with the waxing moon and the staying loyal to things, we have the earth and air dragon. So this is very much a combination of practical, solid, grounded, and also those higher thoughts and dreams, the higher goals of the mind. It represents the perfect balance of heaven and earth. And the message is stay balanced, ground your vision to manifest your hopes and dreams. So yeah, we're really branching, you know, reaching between those two levels, and that's very much the way that solar and lunar, you know, balance can manifest as well. Now over top of the dolphin and the Pisces new moon, we have the green dragon. Very earthy, very verdant, very in touch with the nature spirits. Helps you to tune into the secrets and keys of nature. And look at the little key that's right there, curled around the tail. Receive answers and guidance from nature, align with your divine essence. So the more that you can be in touch with nature and with your own inner spirit and your own core essence, the more positive this experience will be. Then when we go into that Taurus new moon, the stag spirit, look at that, we got fire dragon. It makes me very happy because that is my element. I am a Chinese fire dragon. And this is about burning up the lower energies around you to remove. It's almost like, you know, when they will do like a controlled burning of a forest to just get rid of all the loose leaves and things like that that could end up starting a really bad fire. You know, and it's interesting too because we have, you know, so much challenge right now in the earth, the manifestation of all these forest fires and all this burning that's going around, which is really destructive and really negative. So to me, that fire dragon is, you know, partly that earth elemental that comes in to help, you know, control that and to help, you know, because fire is a superpower, and it's like when it's out of control, it can be so destructive. And so this is about, you know, spiritually doing that for yourself. It's like anything that's really negative, go ahead and let, you know, spirit burn that away. You are safe and protected. Be determined and inspired. Clear your soul pathway. This is also a great one to tune into, you know, for, you know, connecting with Mother Earth, with Gaia, and really saying, you know, we need help, we need healing for the planet and the earth right now as we deal with things like those forest fires. So, all right, Mr. Dragon, here's my baby. Here's my little dragon mascot of the channel here. And so let's pull some tarot. Like I said, these are going to be, you know, many times the energies that play out over the course after a eclipse is many times about a 6-month pattern. So I'm going to pull 6 tarot cards from the Grand Lux, and then we're going to clarify with 6 other tarot cards from the Rider-Waite to see what kind of messages and progression comes through here for our growth and our learning and soul path for what comes after this eclipse. It's upside down, let's turn. I don't generally read reversals, just letting y'all know that. It's something that some readers do, some readers don't. to me it's pretty easy to read kind of the pros and the cons of each card, so I don't generally do the reversals. You know, so that's just kind of a rule of thumb about my channel. If you like, you know, readers that do reversals, there's plenty of them out there, so definitely be sure to search around and check it out. There's great readers here. Wow. Okay, guys, this is powerful stuff. I'm going to say right off, as we come into this beginning, absolutely there's going to be adjustments that will be required from many of us. Anyone that this is resonating with, like I said, always I should mention these are general readings, so they don't resonate with every single person out there, obviously. And especially this reading is meant to be just, you know, more general. It's not even to a specific sign in particular. This is for all of us. So Five of Wands crossed with Page of Wands, both very fiery. And, you know, that Page of Wands is very young energy. It's really, though, embracing greater joy. So my feeling with this, yeah, this is going to take some adjustment. This is, you know, sometimes some stress, some strain, potential conflict even arising as this eclipse comes in, because, you know, when you want something new, you got to clear out the old first. And so over top of that, though, is that Page of Wands, and he's very much about bringing in positive new growth, positive new rebirth. And then look at this, into the second card, which would kind of represent that second month. We got Mr. Death right there, front and center. He's Mr. Pluto, very Scorpio energy coming in there. And so that is very obviously about a very specific death and rebirth cycle, big transformation, and then it's crossed by the Temperance. So what this is telling me here, this is Sagittarius energy, respectfully, but this is very much about a death cycle, a rebirth cycle, a renewal, because this balance is coming in, this resilience, this toughness. You're tougher than you were before. Those of us who have really gone through some intense times, some very painful times, and look what comes up next in this third cycle. Unbelievable. 10 of Swords, sorry, which is the completion of a painful cycle. And look, the Death card again from the other deck. So the Death card has come in here twice. So it really is very, very clear. Spirit is saying this is definitely a transformational cycle. You know, life, death, rebirth, phoenix from the ashes, being reborn. And that 10 of Swords is the completion of a painful cycle. Especially for a lot of folks, it's a painful mental cycle. If anyone struggles out there with, you know, a lot of anxiety, a lot of worries, because this is in your mind, this is the things of the mind, and this is Spirit saying it's like all of that has come to an end, it's going away. Like I said, we were talking about that even before we started doing the cards, is that, you know, there's people out there that's like, they know they need to grow, they know that that's coming in, but it's hard for them because they're still hurting, they're still going through, you know, the residual, you know, mental issues of having to relive it again and again. But this is very beautiful, actually, because it's saying, you know, that all those, like, those mental, you know, cycles that we get in, it's almost like a rut, we can't get ourselves out, it's like that's going away. So then after that, look how different it gets. Look at that. So we've got the Chariot card coming in, which is Cancer energy. It's very much about balance. Look at the dark and the light sides in harmony. And this is pulling that Chariot forward. Cancer energy here is awesome, because that to me also says this is bringing in the energy of the Cancer full moon coming in just a few weeks. And on top of it, look at the Empress. This is Taurus, Libra energy. She holds that shield of Venus. This is about fertility, abundance, creativity, new birth, new life, stepping into your power. Doesn't matter if you align as masculine or feminine. She is a powerful powerful feminine energy coming in there. And so, you know, it's all about flourishing. It's all about really stepping into your creativity, your harmony, your abundance, and being on that throne and saying, you know what? Nobody can knock me off of this. Nobody can knock me out of my power. And then look at that. After this, again, judgment comes in. Judgment has a very strong Scorpio kind of Pluto connotation to it as well, but it's a little easier than the death card, right? Because this is, to me, you know, after the death, after the transformation, here comes that rebirth cycle. Here comes that, you know, refreshing. Here comes that rebirth. Everything's being called out. The angels are calling us forth from our metaphorical graves, you know, to be reborn. And then on top of that, look, 10 of Wands, bundling up all of those burdens, getting that all together and saying, you know what, this hard, harsh, burdensome cycle is done. I'm ready to put this down. I'm ready to, you know, get it all together and put it away. Absolutely great. So then look at what comes up as the last cycle. There is the Three of Pentacles. So to me, there it is, the active rebuilding. You know, and to me, this is the rebuild of spirit as well, because even though this is an earth energy, which is really well represented because we're in that earth energy right now, but there's also a very spiritual connotation to this because he's rebuilding, you know, a temple or a spiritual place of reflection. So there's the architect. The fact that it's a 3 also means that there can be other people coming in to help you rebuild, to help you get stronger. But look at there, King of Wands. So guys, this is all about, again, stepping into your power, stepping into recreation. To me, the King of Wands is a very aligned with recreating energy. It's a creator kind of spirit. You know, this is a complete rebirth. It's very solar. It's very connected, you know, to those fire signs, Leo, Sagittarius, Aries. So it's like those signs may be important in your life, maybe not, you know, but this is to me just saying step into your power, step into your confidence. Don't be afraid to go forward. This is definitely that Fire King. He's not afraid to take the first step forward, absolutely, because to me, you know, fire signs are about action, and that's really what's coming next. So yeah, let's pull a last, like an affirmation from the spell card deck, just to wrap up this reading. Thank you so much for being with me as we did this tonight. I'm so glad to have you here as we bring in that new moon Capricorn energy. If you have not yet subscribed to the channel, I do invite you to reach out there, hit that subscribe button, join the Dragon family, and also give it that dragon claw up by clicking the like button and let me know if you enjoyed this content. Ooh, yes. And so I'm going to bring up one card from the bottom of the deck as well, because I think we're really in that balance. Aha! So the beginning of this, look at this, the Joy card, which is all about embracing greater joy. That's what I said about that Page of Wands. It's always about bringing in greater joy. So it's like, even though that energy of Capricorn is very serious, it's very heavy, it's very earthy, it's very bound, you know, to the earth, the Joy card is so light, it's so bright, it's so refreshing. You know, joy is just that feeling you get when you're just truly in something and your whole heart is just, you're not even thinking anymore. You're just in that feeling of bliss, right? I get that when I play music or listen to music. It's very, very important to me. So that might be something that can really help you, you know, getting into some good music is always important. As I do will, so mote it be. Let joy and light radiate from me. Beautiful. And I like that this is a 1 and a 6, adds up to a 7, just like that Chariot card moving forward. And it really bookends this Wisdom card beautifully, because this is also a 7, 7 and 7. And look at the little owls coming through. Oh, I love my owls. And the owls really help us to see through clearly, even in the darkness. That's what that's about. And wisdom. I think wisdom is a very beautiful and appropriate keyword that goes so well with Capricorn, because there is a lot of wisdom that's in that sign. It's like wisdom, learning from experience, learning from, you know, things you've gone over through the years. Wisdom is also the meeting of the heart and the mind, both, right? Together, working together. So it says, on a Wednesday with a waxing moon, let wisdom come and be renewed. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? And today is a Wednesday. Isn't that wild, right? Today was a Wednesday. First Wednesday, 25th. Wednesday, we're stepping into a Thursday. And it's going to be the waxing moon. That's really wild. Spirit's really speaking to us, guys. So yeah, let our wisdom be renewed, let our joy be renewed, let our hearts be renewed. All right, guys, have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye for now for me and the dragon, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.